Hello, people. What you doing down there? No, turning on the captions. Okay, so hi folks, Joko here. I'm an English instructor and IELTS guru out of Mandalay, Myanmar. And I'm coming tonight to look at a Task 2 essay to specifically discuss both views and give your own opinion essay. Now, one key to success in the IELTS is understanding the question thoroughly. And not just that particular question, but the question types are going to require that you look at your answer and how you answer it differently. There is no, here's how to write a task 2. Of course, there's some basic principles involved in all of them, but the biggest difference is that discuss both views is not necessarily asking you to compare two sides of an issue. Instead, it uses the word views and does so for a very good reason, because they are not always two sides. It's not either this one or this one. This one might believe this, and this one here might believe something down here or up there. Not necessarily opposite, but contrasting. So what do we got? Well, tonight we got, some people think that a sense of competition should be encouraged in children. Useful adults? Who wants useful adults? And then in the question, there will always be this part right here. Give reasons for your answers and include any relevant examples from your own knowledge or experience. That's in every task 2, but it's not included in the practice questions that everyone's using. This is what it's going to say, and you have to follow the instructions. So give reasons for your answers. Now, when I do as I mentioned initially, analyzing the question is key in understanding what it is that they want you to do. Who are they? The examiners. So really, go through the question very slowly. Perhaps read it at a regular pace, but read it 3 times until you are fully comprehending, comprende, senor? What it says and what are the most important aspects, and underline the key words. Some people, of course, right? Some people think that sense of competition, is that a collocation that I'm not familiar with very much? I think the question has been modified for copyright reasons. I think that a sense of competition should be encouraged in children. Where? Others believe that children who are taught to cooperate, children, we know that, who are taught to cooperate, opposed to encouraged rather than compete. Cooperate rather than compete. I should have underlined that too. Become more useful adults. All right. Discuss these are views, not sides. Give your own opinion. Well, here's what the guy wrote. The next step in discuss both views is after you thoroughly have understood the question, marked out the key is to brainstorm. You don't have to do it this way. There's no one best way. Ask yourself the WH questions. Who are we talking about? Well, we're talking about people. Where? Well, it doesn't say. We'll just assume all over the world. Where? Nowadays. This is a development. Who? Well, parents and teachers. And what? Well, the what is that is the two sides, the two views. So I use the 2-column, or I recommend using the 2-column approach to discuss the views of the two viewpoints, views, not sides. Competition, cooperation. Well, competition is a natural thing, isn't it? It's that, it's part of our instinctual need to compete. Winning. Everyone likes winning. Well, What does winning get you? It gets you money and admiration and respect, or perhaps So I would, as I'm thinking about this, I'm getting ideas, like as you get the dopamine, the endorphins that are created in the body when you successfully compete. When, in other words, you compete and then beat somebody at whatever it is, it's a good feeling, and so naturally would encourage people to try to compete more. So winning, and all the good things that come with it. And you might disagree with the point of view, but think of what would people who do agree with this side say is the support for their ideas. Well, cooperation must be learned. And so teachers, because it must be learned, it doesn't come naturally. Use the other person's point against them. Because it doesn't come naturally, it must be learned. And imagine a world without cooperation. It would be horrible. People tend to be happier when they cooperate, whereas the competitor is only happy when they win. I dumped the essay into this wordcounter.net, which produced the information you see on the left. 261 words. Now that's there used to be a word count limit, and that's over it. But 261 words doesn't leave you a lot of room to waste words and still develop your points. Okay. What else we got? Okay, characters. 11 sentences in 4 paragraphs. Okay. That's not very long. You used the word children 7 times. Now, children are obviously who we're talking about. Well, they're the object of the teaching, so 7 is a bit much out of 261. You use the word people 6 times. People is almost never needed. Society for 5 times. Okay, so we're going to see some word repetition in here. The introduction. Okay, the question is over on the left. It is believed by some people. Well, as opposed to what? Monkeys? Yeah, of course it's people. It is believed by some that. Believed, think. Okay, that's good. The children should be taught a sense of competition. Well, no, it doesn't say that in the question. It says should be encouraged. While others think that to teach that it's not. Others think that to teach children being cooperative. Blue is. I never did explain that. Blue is cohesion and coherence, and if it's smooth and easy to read, when the word order is incorrect like this, it gets in the way. So this is both grammar and readability. While others think that to teach children being cooperative, to teach cooperation, when turn out them. Okay, turn out is correct. It's a good phrasal verb. When turn them out. Yeah, turn them out. It'll turn out good people. This essay will discuss both of the points of view, their views, and my opinion. Both points of view and my opinion. Awkward construction, that's in the successive paragraphs. You were taught to put that at the end of your introduction by some teacher who heard it from some other teacher who heard it from some other person, and it sounds like a very easy thing to memorize, and it's going to be thought of as memorized because it's not natural and it doesn't fit what you're talking about. Body paragraphs 1 to 2. Now, if you look at the band criteria, what you're supposed to get a certain band score, you won't get above a 5 unless you support your arguments in some way, okay, in a logical way. On the one hand, saw that coming, people believe that children can develop motivation. Okay, no, some people believe that children don't. Well, I suppose they do. Children develop motivation in them, not necessary, by encouraging competition. Now, what is the subject of the first part of this sentence? Not people, but children, okay, at least in this clause, children can develop in them by encouraging competition. Who is the encouraging? It should be the same as in the subject, as in the first part. So people believe that children can develop motivation when they are encouraged to compete. Those children, which ones? Often tend to work hard to compete with fellow peers. You don't need fellow peers. Fellow means peer is a fellow man, or someone who's the same level as you. Okay, where was I? Okay, on the one hand, people believe that children can develop motivation. So we had a very strange. Is this the topic sentence? This is saying what was already in the introduction, and your topic sentence is that some people believe this. Okay. Often tend to work hard to compete with fellow peers. Right, unsupported in every field of life. Children. Are children involved in every field of life? To illustrate what? Okay, you're jumping into your example far too early. You need to explain what you mean. They tend to work hard. Okay, why is to illustrate, if parents and teachers teach a child to compete in order to motivate him, as opposed to a different reason for teaching them to compete, the child will most probably work in every possible way to get success. We don't get success, we achieve success or succeed by competing with others. Okay, so the child, if they are taught to compete, they will try to compete, and therefore they will be successful. Therefore, people think that to get success, children. Oh, you said get success twice in two sentences. Children should be taught taught to compete in their lives. Well, who else's lives? A lot of unnecessary words that slow the reader down. Okay, whole sentences that are kind of unnecessary. On the other hand, I saw that coming. It's not two hands. Okay, people are saying that that competing leads to. It doesn't say what it leads to, just that they should be encouraged. And the other side says that, cooperating is more important than competing. Well, that's the big assertion, isn't it? That cooperating is more effective than competing at particular tasks. Like protests and things like that. They all cooperated. Anyway, getting off topic here. Okay, on the other hand, saw that coming along with others. I believe that, again, you've learned that from some IELTS teacher who heard it was a good idea. I don't like it. I believe that children who are brought up while learning to cooperate with others turn out to be helpful people for society. Okay, that's in. You put that in the introduction. Turn out to be helpful people for society. How? In what way are they helpful? He does wonders. It should be they. These days we say that even if it's just one person, he does wonders in teamwork in a company. Teamwork in a company. In addition to this, along with cooperation, you don't need both of those connectors there. It's like double connectors. Along with cooperation, a kind gesture and a positive attitude, comma. Okay. In addition to this, along with cooperation, you still haven't gotten to the subject of that sentence. A kind gesture and a positive attitude. Okay, there's the subject. We'll do what? Or what? There's no verb in that sentence. Oh, wait, there's more coming. The same child may become helpful for society in terms of charity and I'm getting confused. So, what's your support for them being helpful? Is they might be helpful. Thus, therefore, thus. I've seen this template before. I've seen this. Yeah, the one that goes topic sentence, supporting sentence, example. How about topic sentence, supporting sentence, then example? Yeah, I reckon. And it says therefore and thus at the end. Don't follow a template. Or I should say this. Follow a template if you want to get a 6. And that's all some people need. And it concludes with, to conclude, saw that coming. Although people suggest to develop competition, there's with some verbs follow an ing always follows the verb. Other verbs, they end with ed. So suggest is one of those verbs that always takes the ing. So although people suggest developing competition spirit. It's competitive spirit. Competitive. That's the noun. We need the verb. In fact, that is the only time you matter. Brings motivation to them. I believe they should learn to cooperate to be a good person for society. That's the third time we've said good person for society. And one of them, and these are words that are in the question. If you use words in the question, that's the last slide, I believe. Yes. So what you need to do is support your ideas. Because what's happening is you're saying, here's the idea. Okay? My example for this idea is the idea itself. It doesn't work. Okay, you got a month. You got some potential. Just don't follow into the traps of following a template. Understand that we've got different types of questions, and there's going to be different approaches towards that, towards the shape of the cup as opposed to what's in it. Okay, bye-bye, folks.